Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today is Wednesday and I hope you're all doing very well. Today's video is part 4 of this probably 6 or 7 part series called My Retinitis Pigmentosa Experience, and today's subject is going to be covering a time in my life that was uh, significantly darker than the phases that I covered in the last 3 videos, and that is a time period lasting from about age 16 to 18, so like the last half of high school. Now, high school had actually nothing to do with the reason why this time of my life was as hard as it was. It just happened to be the time period that this emotional change with how I handled my retinitis pigmentosa occurred. Um, so before I turned 16, my struggles with retinitis pigmentosa were very largely physical and not so much emotional. There were a couple little bumps, along the way, but nothing really chronic that lasted from an emotional standpoint for very long. Just some physical limitations, like the sports, not being able to play conventional sports and things like that, which I talked about in the previous video. But when I turned 16, it started to change from an emotional in an emotional regard, because when you turn 16, typically you get your driver's permit, you practice for a few months, then you get your driver's license. I kind of figured that I wouldn't be a candidate to get my driver's license based on a decade or so of experiencing vision loss at that point by the time I was 16, and knowing my own mobility issues in just trying to walk around and navigate the world, that driving probably wasn't going to be in my future. And it was actually confirmed by my ophthalmologist that year in my yearly checkup, that when I asked him, do you recommend that I even attempt to drive? And he said no. So it never went any further than that. I was never formally denied by by a governmental organization to drive, but I never attempted it, just based on his feedback and then my own knowledge of how my vision is and functions. And it created some emotional distress for me for a couple of years. While most everybody else was getting their permits and their licenses, and maybe they were getting their first car, and that gave them an extra level of freedom that we didn't have, from birth until 16, because you don't drive till you're 16. They were able to just get in their car, go to the mall, go to a friend's house, do whatever they wanted to do very easily, and I felt like it created a lot of very depressing weekends for me for a couple of years, because I felt like I was unable to be a part of a lot of social circles, because I felt like when I would ask to do something with someone, that I was being a burden on them and wasn't being included, because I couldn't just drive myself. I was going to have to be picked up by someone or taken somewhere by somebody else. And that like I said, that created a hard time for me for a couple of years, in high school, and as everybody was getting that freedom. However, that all changed when I went to college. So that's actually going to be the focal point of the next video. There were a lot of variables at play that helped me through that emotional distress that I had those previous years. In college. So that's really all I wanted to talk about today. I told you all that it was a darker video, but I'm just being, completely honest. And I'm gonna do a little time check here. Okay. And if you have any questions or comments, please let me know. Please don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and please share the video. When I posted it on Facebook last week, my last video, it got a lot of views, many more than the previous videos, because people were sharing it on their Facebook pages. A couple people shared it. So I really appreciate that. That's a really good way to help this channel grow from a viewer standpoint and exposure, and I really appreciate that. So thank you all. Again, please like, comment, subscribe, and share the video. I hope you all have a great day. Thank you for watching.